Everybody, this is your boy Darkblade X of Dark and Fortress Gaming Network, aka Black Hawk Division Leader for DCO. What's going on? What's good with you, pimp? Today we are in the T6 raid known as New Genesis Now, doing defeat Chambermaid. It takes place at the very last boss fight of this raid, the very last room on the platform. So, by definition of this feat, it says, and I quote, "Do not fail to close any of the conversion chamber's energy shields in the New Genesis Now instance operation." Don't let that confuse you. There is room for error, but you just have to correct that error, which I'll go into later, so don't let that confuse you. I'm going to give you guys a very detailed explanation of how to beat this feat. And as you guys always know from watching any of my feat videos, I do it from the perspective of you being a low CR level. However, let's face it, I'm not going to suggest any 113s come into here. Sorry, nah. It also comes down to being able to survive long enough, and I'm not going to put you through that. But I will say this, and this is not just you being at the CR level, this is your whole group, because I do it on the basis of your whole group is the same CR level. So I'm going to suggest, and once again, take from this what you will, I'm going to suggest that everybody is at least 125 CR, at least. Now some people are going to say you need to be higher, some people might say you need to be lower. I'm going to suggest at least 125. Now keep in mind that while I'm telling you how to do it from a low CR, the video shows you, well, shows me and my crew being a lot higher than that. But like I said, this is from the perspective of I'm going to show you what to do, but you can also do this at a lower CR. So this is what you need to do. First is your group makeup. Well, actually, let's not get into that first. You have to actually be able to survive here first. So let me tell you what this platform is. This room is surrounded by a whole bunch of New Genesis radiation. Tons of it. Not only that, but there are ads, there are bosses, and mechanics that are set to one-shot you. Now, what do I mean by one-shotting you? This is what I mean. All those are set to knock you off this platform, and that's how you get one-shotted. No matter what CR you are, you could be CR 400, 500, 5,000, whatever. If you fall off this platform, it's instant death. Instant death. Okay, well, maybe not 5,000. I don't think it hits you that hard. Or maybe it's programmed to. Who knows? And anyway, what I'm saying is this. The bosses, the ads, room mechanics are sent to knock you backwards towards the edge. That's how this raid goes. So, you and your crew need to be in the center of the platform. That way, when you get knocked back, hopefully you don't fall off. So when you get pushed back, you'll be able to just run back to the center. If you're already around the edges of the room, then there's nothing to run back to. Once you get knocked off, that's it. It doesn't matter if you're acrobatic or if you're flight. Once you get knocked off, you can't fly back up. It's like your flight was taken from you. If you fall off this ring, your movement mode is gone, and all you can do is just fall to your death into a pool of radiation. It is a one-shot. So how do you avoid that? Stand in the center of the room, and when you get knocked back, hopefully you won't get knocked all the way off. Hopefully you'll get knocked back just enough so that you can still remain on the platform and run back to the center. Now let's get to the feat now that you guys know how you're going to survive this. When it comes to this feat, you have to activate nodes in the room so that the conversion chambers energy shields will actually pop up. So what do you have to activate? Okay, on the screen right now you see two nodes, there and there. Those nodes have nothing to do with this feat whatsoever. Please ignore the nodes that are on the pillars in the room. The nodes that you actually need to recognize are the 4 black seals on the ground. Located here, located here, located there, and located there. These 4 right here are it. They're it. When it comes to activating these shields, it will always be 2 seals at a time. However, it will also be random. And however, they will also be next to each other because you kind of activating a shield on one side of the room at a time, so it'll never be diagonal. It'll always be next to each other. So it can always be like these two, or these two, or those two, or those two. But it's going to be random. You'll never see something like this. Or like this. It won't happen. It will always be right next to each other. So once again, it's these 4 shields right here. Alright, so now we know which ones to activate, so we're good to go, right? Actually, no, you're not. No, you're not. We know which sets to activate, but which ones will pop up? Who knows? That's not information. We have to now know what can we kind of plan for ahead of time. Ads in the boss, you can't really plan for those. You can kind of make a prediction, but you can't really tell if this person is going to knock you off the edge or not. What you can kind of predict, however, is how the room is going to treat you. So you need to pretty much figure out where you want to be standing so that the room is no longer a factor. On top of that, you also need to learn how to, well, survive. So let's go into that real quick. How do you live in here? When it comes to these fields and when it comes to just surviving this place, you need to know where you can and cannot stand. So there are balls of energies that actually fly around the room, knocking you off this platform, besides the boss and the ads. There's these little balls of energy known as these little, I want to say, radiation clusters that are flying around the room. Alright, just wanted to show you guys a little screenshot of what those orbs look like, just so you know what you're looking for, which you'll recognize it as soon as you see it. It's the only thing that looks remotely like it. Here are 2 orbs of the radiation clusters that are floating around the room. There is number 1, and here is number 2. Number 2 is a little bit more sparky because it's animated, it's random when you decide to take a screenshot of it. So yeah, that's what it is. And this one is a picture of the same type of orb once it comes in contact with a player. It sparks up like a lightning bolt, but you probably won't notice it because, well, you don't really see it too much since you're getting drawn across the room. It kind of looks like a player's move, but after it hits you, it does a very quick spark, and then you're drawn across the room. Depending on how it hits you, you may be lucky enough to still stay on the platform. They intersect, or should I say, go over those black seals on the ground. So if you're thinking of just standing on top of those seals, you don't want to do that. That's because those balls come right in those paths, and when you get hit by that ball, it sends you across the room. Not across the platform, across the room. The platform is a very small section of this massive room. So once that ball hits you, it's game over. Because remember, you don't have movement mode. Once it hits you, you can't fly. All you can do is just fall. And you're knocked across the room, which is off the platform. So yeah, you're going right into that polar radiation. So you need to be close to the pad, but not directly on it. So what are some safe spots you can stand? I only know run, really. I'm sorry. I don't know that many safe spots, but I do know some. So, and keep in mind, this is up to you if you want to do it this way. But safe spots are here, 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 and here. If you think of it in other words, it's a way of look at the actual floor right now. You see how there's this little design that goes over this black seals on the ground? And they kind of come to a point. It's kind of pointing to you, yeah, you can stand here and be safe. So think of it that way. So you want to stand like here, 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 and here once again. Those places are safe. I imagine there may be some others, but go ahead and try if you wish to. But just keep in mind that you don't want to be on the outside-ish part of the platform, more on the inside-ish, in case you get knocked back. Keep in mind there will be ads that will be doing knockbacks, whether with attacks or with items they draw like grenades or whatever have you. And then there's also the boss that can just, swing you around the room. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're doing this. So when it comes down to activating, you're going to want to have at least 2 people or more activating these things at a time. Now what I mean is not really activating, but being in positions to get close enough to activate if need be. In the video I'm going to show you later, I've actually only done it with just 2 people activating it. But depending on your group makeup, you might want to have more people ready to go. So it's up to you. There's many ways to do it, so let's go over those ways. Well, actually, before we go over those ways, I guess we should talk a little bit more about your survivability. How are you actually going to survive now that you actually know you have to activate some stuff? Well, like I said, everybody needs to be into the center of the platform so you don't get knocked off. Now that you guys know where to stand as far as being the center of the platform, let's talk over your group makeup. Now, once again, this is from a viewpoint of you being a lower CR. If your group's overpowered, then this little formula really doesn't matter. You can just... Okay, yeah, I guess I'll say it. If you're really overpowered, like your group's like 160 and higher, just walk in here, one shot the boss, and you're good to go. Because, hey, it says do not fail to activate any of the energy shields. So if the energy shields never have a chance to even come up, how can you fail it? You can't, so you're good to go. Boom. Okay, so that's one way. Now, like I said, this is from the viewpoint of you not being that strong, being a low CR, so let's go. Let me tell you how to do that. So your group makeup is now going to be important. You're going to need a tank. A somewhat good tank. You're going to need a tank that can survive. So you're going to need a tank. At least one. If you want to have two, go ahead. I'm not going to look down on you for it because this is going to be a feat where it's going to be survival. Pretty much. So, one or two tanks, up to you. I'm going to strongly suggest two healers because of all the damage that's going to be going around the room. Two healers. Two healers. One troll is all you need. The troll really there is not only there just to give power, but for the stuns, which are going to be super important later. And then the rest, all DPS. Now, the reason for all this makeup is survivability. Because when it comes time to activate the nodes on the ground, you can't activate anything if you're being attacked. So you're going to need your tank to pull all the adds towards him so that he has all the aggro and they're focusing on him. And to help out the tank, or if that's not working out perfectly, you have your troll to also aid the tank with stuns or encasements or whatever have you. They can stun the enemy so that they can't move. If the enemy can't move, the enemy can't stop you from activating a node. Alright? So there you go. Remember, this is all taking place from the center of the platform. Everybody needs to be grouped together. That means adds on your teammates. And your tank right next to everybody else, and everybody else next to your tank, and all, etc. Yeah, this is going to be done from the center of the ring. There's no way around it. You can try to space out somewhat if you want to, but remember, the further you are from the center, the higher your chances of being knocked off and not being able to stop from falling off. Or being knocked back and not be able to stop from falling off. But, like I said, take from this what you will. Now, with that said, in that formula, it still comes down to who's activating what, and do you want to use two people or more than two? As I showed you, there are 4 spots you can stand that are safe, which are right there. Now, if you want to use 2 people, remember that 2 of those nodes will come off at a time, so maybe you might want to stand in between 2 nodes, whether it's right here and there, or right here and there. But once again, like I said, it's random which ones are activated, so who knows which 2 are going to come up. You're kind of like hoping that you're right next to it in time to activate. But there's another way to do this too. You can always have 4 people right next to the nodes. Like those 4 spots that I told you are safe to stand, just have them stand right on those 4 spots. Right there. Whenever it's time to activate the node, they just turn around and activate the nodes on the ground. Now, there's also a third way of doing this, but this third way has strategies that you can also use in the other strategies too, so it makes it even better. Now, this third way is just kind of like the lazy way. Everyone just, like Remar said, everybody needs to be in the center of the platform, so just have everybody just pile up in the center of the platform. Nowhere even near the seals, everyone's in the center of the platform. When the seal is activated, people just rush to those seals in time. Now you got your tank who's supposed to have aggro, so your tank pulls all the adds to them. Your troll then stuns them or encases them or entraps them, whatever you want to call it. And maybe your troll draws up the group shield if need be, or your healer comes by and draws up their group shield. They should have a group shield, hopefully, so they draw up their group shield. And you can also use those strategies when you're doing it with 2 people near a shield or 4 people near a shield, whatever have you. You know, your tank aggros, troll traps or encases, and the healers draw on their shields if need be, or the trolls draw on their shield if need be, whatever is needed. So it kind of works out that way. Now keep in mind that this feat is not only dependent on being able to activate those nodes in time, but also being dependent on you being able to defeat the enemy in time. What I mean is this. And yeah, your CR does play into this. The higher your CR is, the less chance for you to have the nodes keep popping up. Okay, the nodes will keep popping up until the boss is dead. So the faster you kill the boss, the less chances you have for the nodes to pop up again. And the longer the boss lives, the more chances you have for those nodes to keep popping up and up and up. So it really depends on your CR level a little bit too. That's not to say that this can't be done at a lower CR though. So now you know the makeup. Now you know the formula. Now let me give you your last little bit tip right here. If at any time you fail to grab any of the consoles on the ground, don't give up hope. Just wipe. By wipe, I mean just like have everybody die. Everybody in your group just die. Then when you guys are back at the entrance, just walk back into the room and try again. There is no need to requeue this raid. There is no need. Absolute zero need. This isn't a first attempt or on the first try, or if you fail, it's it. No, no. This is a, if you missed on that attempt, wipe and try on your next attempt. If you missed there, wipe, try your next attempt. If you missed there, wipe, try your next attempt. Now, this isn't one of those if your teammate dies. This is if there's no one there to activate a node when it pops up. If you miss a node, wipe. Alright, you get that? I hope so. I think I gave you guys enough tips as you need. Now I'll show you the video of it actually working through. And it'll be kind of fast. Enjoy. Alright. You gotta pull everything to you, Soups. You gotta be right in the middle. Soups the tank.
Soups is the thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm like, if you're the teams, don't try to
Well,
get
he didn't want to DPS, so someone has to.
Oh, that's fine. I thought he was the tank, so I was like, I don't know if you're the tank.
I think that electrical shit that's going back and forth with the shit that knocks you off.
Yeah, that's the radiation sparks.
Electric bola.
It's pretty much going in the path of those circles on the ground. Alright, I put a shield in my loadout, so hopefully I'll be able to grab some.
For those of you, like, you know, don't get too close, you're gonna get pulled in.
Yeah, don't go past that yellow.
So many ads where y'all was couldn't even see the portals.
Yeah, but see those sparks? They're going right over the portals. They're going like right over the portals. It seems the inside's kind of safe to stand though. Yeah, looking at the pattern, the inside's safe to stand at, not the outside of it.
Try to tank him in the middle.
Yep. Looking at that pattern, I could probably, if I'm at the top left, I could probably stand on the outside. If I'm at the bottom left, I want to be on
Watch it, you're gonna get pulled.
inside, it looks
I guess
like.
there it
On the
goes.
outside. I should be on the outside, it looks like. Alright, dig in.
Tank him
Get
in the
over to
middle.
your spots. And I should probably distracted. I'm about to do my long range attack. Yeah.
Lexi, move a little closer to the line. You're gonna get knocked back by the electrical ball that's going back and forth. There you go, you see? Lucky you, oh my god, lucky you was in the inside. There you go, now the
Yeah,
all those
stay
little
on the inside
spears are
until
out.
you have to activate anything.
Yeah.
Alright, there they go, they're out.
There it goes, there it goes.
I got mine.
Okay, very good.
I got it.
You got it? Nice.
Alright.
Take this motherfucker out before he...
Okay.
So one in each corner that came out.
Yeah, get ready.
You're ready.
Yes.
Back up again.
I don't see nothing so far. There
Yeah,
it goes.
that's what I'm talking about.
Good shit, man.
Good shit, yes, good.
Teamwork.
YouTube, I'm just saying, Just saying I know.
Yes.
And I put everybody's name in it, because I ain't gonna be the only one saying.
That was some good shit, bro. Great ass fucking teamwork.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, cause I think I saw the electrical shit once you standing on this side, opposite or up, you know, in front of a circle, you get knocked this way. But if you stand this side, this is where you're screwed, cause you get knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
So if you stand basically on this side of the thing, it's you get it knocked back right to the center, which is even better.
To me, it kept pushing me. Because
Yeah.
I was trying to move away from the middle.
Yeah, I saw when it dragged Lexi when she was standing here and knocked her all the way over here. I was like, oh shit. That was some good shit, bro.
Came back, she